If a company is seeking to create a more equitable workplace, I think the most important place to start is with we don't know. So often when we engage with organizations, there's a lot of work that has to happen to actually help everyone understand there's not a one size fits all. We have to understand where we're at. What's the status quo? How are people feeling? What's the data telling us? And we're going to have to commit to a long-term journey. So I always say to people, if you really want to do this, you're going to have to be in this for the long run. What we're talking about is not just education. It's not just looking at tweaks around workplace culture, but we're talking about system change. We're talking about changing the very processes and systems and procedures and policies that have been set at a time and in a place that no longer serves us and never served us, really. One of the biggest misconceptions is that we can somehow separate being an inclusive leader and being a good leader of people. D&I is not an add-on that you just kind of, as a cherry on top add into something. So the same counts for leadership. Are we raising up leaders that can have difficult conversations? Are we raising up leaders that have an awareness of their privilege and their power, and that influences the way they interact with the folks they lead? Are we raising up leaders who are aware of their biases and know how to mitigate it? All those different things. If we talk about folks who are either doing this work as well, or folks who are championing this work in their organization, I think I look to people who are willing to not just say the right things, not just show empathy, not just make commitments to acting in allyship, but who are willing to make sacrifices. Acting in allyship requires giving up power. What does UK Black History Month mean to me? It means that we can have a focused moment of accountability, right? If we take it seriously, I often say to clients that we work with, I say Black History Month should be the time of accountability and transparency. What have you been doing this past year? How have your efforts and commitments to anti-racism, how has that shown up? What have you been doing? Can you be accountable to your people? UK Black History Month was birthed from, we have to create space for our people to hear our stories, for there to be spaces where our stories can be told in a full way, holistic way, positive way, stories of resistance, of joy, of overcoming, of, innovation and creativity. Those stories should be told. So if we're talking about UK Black History Month from that perspective, I love it, right? Like, I think it's so important, and sadly continues to be important, that we create moments and rhythms and rituals around focusing in on those things, because they're not part of the mainstream conversation. A question I like to ask myself and people I work with is, what is required of me to bring to the table to do this work, right? There is an individual piece here. And I guess in moments like Black History Month or other heritage months that we might observe, it's an opportunity for all of us to ask ourselves, where am I at in my personal journey? What work have I been doing? I think if we want to enroll a critical mass of people in change, it's a lot of individuals, right? Like, a critical mass is made up of a lot of individuals. And if we can have these conversations and do this work in our own selves, the chances for a critical mass to be enrolled are much bigger.